guys, and welcome back to Living in Sisterhood. It's Tatia here, and I'm so excited about our first episode of Medical Mondays. So as you would have known in the first video, Medical Mondays is all about downloading you with medical information. Different diseases, different foods, a lot of things, just everything about your health. As many of you would or would not have known, PAHO has recognized May 17th as World Hypertension Day. So today, we're going to talk about hypertension. Now, I know what you're thinking, hypertension, we've heard it all before. But today, I'm going to dispel 5 common myths about hypertension. So you're going to learn something new. Let's get started. So first, let's define hypertension, also commonly called high blood pressure. It's when your blood pressure, which is the pressure at which the blood beats in your blood vessels, is consistently too high. As we commonly know, blood pressure is written in 2 numbers, your systolic number, which is the top number, and your diastolic number, which is the bottom number. The systolic number is the blood pressure when your heart is beating, and the diastolic number is your blood pressure when your heart relaxes between the beats. Normal blood pressure is considered to be less than 120/80. If you are an adult and your blood pressure is between systolic 120 to 129 and your diastolic is less than 80, then you're considered to have an elevated blood pressure. High blood pressure is when your systolic is above 130 and your diastolic is above 80, and it's consistently high over a period of time. You may ask, am I at risk for developing hypertension? Well, there are several risk factors, some that we can control and some that we cannot control. Some of the controllable risk factors include cigarette smoking or secondhand smoke, diabetes, obesity, high cholesterol, an unhealthy diet, physical inactivity. Factors that can't be controlled or are more difficult to control include family history, race or ethnicity. For example, the African American or Black race is more at higher risk to developing hypertension. Your gender, males are also at higher risk, as well as chronic kidney disease. And your socioeconomic status and physical stress also poses a risk for developing high blood pressure. So the important question here is, what can I do about high blood pressure? First of all, you want to avoid smoking or any secondhand smoke. You want to reach and maintain a healthy weight. So get that exercise in, get that healthy eating in. Like I said, you want to eat healthy, a healthy, well-balanced diet that's rich in fruits, vegetables, low dairy fat products, and all the vitamins and nutrients that you would need. You also want to aim to consume less than 1,500 milligrams per day of sodium, which is your common table salt or any added seasonings. Limit your alcohol consumption. Be more physically active. Aim for about 30 minutes a day of some type of physical exercise. As well as if you have any chronic diseases, any illnesses, take your medication on time. And also very important, you want to be aware of your blood pressure. So that's checking in regularly, whether it's the at-home machine or if you go to your primary healthcare physician. You want to be aware of what's going on with your body. So another question, why is it important to even control my blood pressure? What's going to happen? Well, there are several complications that are linked to an elevated or high blood pressure. And these complications can affect various organs. So for example, we have complications that affect the heart. Firstly, you can have an enlarged heart, which is your left ventricle hypertrophy, congestive heart failure, coronary artery disease, and abnormal cardiac rhythms. Next, complications that affect the brain. We can have brain hemorrhages that will lead to stroke, infarctions that also lead to stroke, and there's also something called hypertensive encephalopathy, which is general brain dysfunction caused by high blood pressure. And hypertensive encephalopathy can have symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and trouble with balance and confusion. Next, how does it affect your eyes? We might have heard about hypertensive retinopathy before, and this just involves visual changes that can eventually lead to you losing your vision. And lastly, your kidneys. And we know our kidneys are very important. So hypertension can cause chronic kidney disease or chronic kidney failure. And this affects your ability to properly filter your blood of all impurities or toxins. So now it's time to dispel some myths. Myth number 1. You may hear someone say, or you may say, high blood pressure runs in my family, so there's nothing that I can do to prevent it. And yes, this is true. Hypertension can run in families. For example, if your parents or like a first-degree relative had hypertension, you are more than likely to develop it. But what can you do? It all comes down to your lifestyle choices. Lifestyle choices have allowed many people with a family history of hypertension to avoid it themselves. And we mentioned the lifestyle changes. Your diet, exercise, stress, all of that involves your lifestyle changes. Myth number 2. You might say, I don't use table salt, so I'm in control of my sodium intake and my blood pressure. Is that not right? Here's the fact. In some people, yes, sodium can increase your blood pressure, but it's not all about the table salt. It also means checking your labels, because there can be up to 75% of sodium hidden in our foods. So it's important that when you're buying prepared or prepackaged foods, you need to read your labels. Watch out for the words soda or sodium and the symbol Na. These words show that sodium components are present in the food. Myth number 3. You may commonly hear, oh, people with high blood pressure have nervousness, sweating, difficulty sleeping, and their face becomes flushed. I don't have any of those symptoms, so I can't possibly have high blood pressure. Many people have high blood pressure for years and don't even notice it. And that's why it's often called the silent killer, because it usually has no symptoms. That's why it's important to know your numbers. You can buy a blood pressure machine and check your pressure at home, or when you go to the doctor, ensure that your blood pressure is taken and reviewed by your healthcare physician. Myth number 4. You may hear a lot of people saying, oh, I read that red wine is good for the heart, so I can drink as much of it as I want. Remember to do things all in moderation. Yes, you can drink red wine, you can drink alcohol, but it's important to do so in moderation. Heavy and regular use of alcohol can actually increase your blood pressure dramatically. It can cause heart failure, lead to stroke, and actually produce irregular heartbeats. Too much alcohol can contribute to high triglycerides, which is high cholesterol, cancer, obesity, alcoholism, suicide, and the complications continue. So therefore, if you drink red wine or if you drink alcohol, limit consumption to no more than 2 drinks per day for men and 1 drink per day for women. Generally, 1 drink is like a 12-ounce bottle of beer or a 4-ounce glass of wine. Myth number 5. It's okay if I get hypertension because there is a cure. Unfortunately, there's no cure for hypertension, but there are many ways to treat it and control it and reduce the impacts on your organs and your overall health. The American Heart Association recommends 1. A healthy, well-balanced diet that's low in sodium. 2. Limit your alcohol consumption. 3. Get some physical exercise or any physical activity in. 4. Maintain a healthy weight. And 5. Talk to your doctor about your hypertension and make sure it is controlled. So I hope you learned something new today about hypertension and are able to dispel some common myths. So until next time, remember, the foundation of your happiness is your health. Bye.